Okay, let's talk about the recent moonshots with Bitcoin, what that does to Bitcoin, what that does to Ethereum, all right, as well as some of the altcoins that are out there. I saw Doge up, I think, 20% in the last 24 hours. So there's some major effects that are happening due to the outcome of the 2024 election. So going to get into that right now. So, what was it? Last week? I believe it was last week. I showed this chart coming into November. So what I did was I took a look at the entire year, pretty much the entire year of Bitcoin. I took the lows that happened in January, and if you want to run down that area, this was just after BlackRock got an approval on the Bitcoin ETF. We had a little bit of a fallout that took us down, I think, into the high 30s. Run up to new all-time highs at around 73.5. Then we started this lower high, lower low scenario that took us all the way down to lows below 50,000. From there, we got our first higher low, and that signified that maybe this downtrend might be over. But I felt really good about it at around the 69. I said 67.5, 67K, but I really like 69.5 as an area to just get back onto the Bitcoin bull train. We were looking for projections. So my projection was very simple. I took the 47K low, right? I took the 67K high, basically subtracted or took the difference between the two, which is 20K, and I added that to the 67K high, which is right here, breaking out in the middle of October, and that gives us 67 plus 20, 87K target. All right, that was what we were looking for. Let's fast forward to today. Bitcoin, before going live, before discussing this, right now, I threw the chart up, and we were just off of 85. In fact, we hit 85,001 before getting a little bit of a pullback here, up nearly 30% off the August lows. Okay, more than doubled. I mean, you want to call it, if you look at over the last year, I think it was maybe about a year and a half, the 30,000 low, we're going to be approaching a 200% upside, getting closer to 90,000, but we'll see. Right now, it's up nearly 30% off the August lows, which is fantastic, being down here below 50. And so the big questions on a lot of people's minds are, first of all, why is this happening if you don't already know? And then more importantly, what do we see for future projections? All right, here's what we're looking at. So price surge, getting above the 85,000 mark, fantastic. In fact, we're seeing a lot of volatility, upside volatility on this. This is going to fuel potential for further upside. The scarce inventory that we sees this going up to 100K, fairly quickly. I mean, think about what's happened just in the last week. We've already added from being at around, let's call it 70,000. We've already seen 15,000 points pop on here from 70 to 85. There's no reason why another 15,000 may not happen here in the near future that would take us to that 100K mark. Now, market sentiment looks like this. Highly optimistic. You got a lot of enthusiasts. You got a lot of analysts. Consensus seems to be up only. Now, that's a positive, but it could also be a negative, which I'm going to talk about in just a few minutes. The political outlook is one of the biggest reasons why we're seeing this big breakout to the upside. Donald Trump securing the win. You got that catalyst. That's really the big catalyst for Bitcoin's price rally. Now, I have something I want to talk about, which is called to be continued. What else could make this go higher if all the news is out? If you're really thinking that it's time to sell the news, there's still news to be continued. Looks like this. Options on ETFs. We still have to see that happen. And I'm talking about the spot ETFs, all right, like IBIT. This would further intensify crypto as a place for as a regulated asset. Now, also, Bank in New York Mellon has been in the news about being the first bank to come out and want to custody Bitcoin. Right now, banks are not custodying Bitcoin. If banks start to custody Bitcoin, then it goes from not only the investing community, but it goes into the banking community. And it just becomes more of a story for folks out there. In fact, I saw a survey and I didn't see the actual survey. I heard this from another source that Charles Schwab's done a survey, and they look at the fact that half of their client base is now interested in investing in Bitcoin in one form or another, being the actual cryptocurrency itself or a crypto-related asset such as iBit. No wonder, because it's being advertised everywhere. But I think custody of banks is going to place a store of value. And when you custody something at a bank, you now have a value that you can borrow against, which I think would happen shortly thereafter. You've got corporations, which are now allowed to use Bitcoin as an asset on their ledger. That's a big deal too. Right. I also see banks down the road paying an interest rate for putting BTC on deposit. Because why? Because it is a store of value, because they're going to want this being stored at their banks. And so they're going to pay people to put that in storage. Right. Potential tax changes down the road could happen. This is just getting floated around. Everything from zero tax on Bitcoin to treat it like the US dollar. I think that might be a little bit far-fetched, but we will see.